But now I'm hopefully here. WindSim Accelerator, we will talk about now. Nils Olav will join me in a moment, and Theo will also come back to do a demo of exciting stuff which is coming up in the near future. So what do you want to do? You heard Ingvar earlier talking about, WinSim actually seeing the cloud as very important for us. So I just want to take a moment to talk a little bit about why that is. What trends and needs and benefits do we see that the cloud brings that kind of helps us with providing the accuracy, the speed, and the user friendliness that we know are important elements. This also means that we are moving into a software as a service model. So instead of the traditional license-based setup, is more now as a subscription with various types of plans and packages containing different number of credits. And we are going to talk a little bit about how that works for those who are not familiar with it yet. And then finally, as I mentioned, we will do a demo of exciting new functionality that is coming up. All of it driven by customer input. So from the first users, the existing users and new customers that we have received, we get feedback and inputs. And we use this coming back from you very actively in setting priorities and defining what kind of new functionality and features we want to focus on. So the case for the cloud. So what we hear about in the market, what is being talked about at places, for example, like in Wind Europe back in April, are some things that help sort of make the case for the cloud. So first and foremost, the project pipelines, although having been slow, are expected to increase very much in the coming years. Ingmar touched on this as well. We hear reports about, the number of projects increasing. They are in some cases becoming much larger. There is a need to do more R&D and more parametric studies. So this is one factor that plays. The other one is, of course, speed. Sometimes the time pressure is really very high that you have to turn around the project super fast. And you know that, sometimes local hardware can put restrictions on how fast that can be. Accuracy remains very important. We know that, or we hear that increasingly complex sites are being assessed, which means that we need to have accurate simulations for it. But also, it's not only about, producing the highest possible AAP. You need to have reliable business cases as well to reduce the uncertainty, to make sure that the projects being put forward will actually be profitable. So accuracy remains very important. Security is another big thing at the moment, being able to comply with the data privacy guidelines or requirements that are there, but also what about backups, secure backups if the system would go down. Scalability, so a little bit related to volume and speed I spoke about earlier, but people want to have the ability to, work from multiple places, add more people, work on the same projects, run more projects at the same time. So the cloud helps with, this scalability feature as well. Access in this case, I mean, and I know that CFD has kind of a reputation for being, complicated. Now we want to make it more easy to use, more intuitive, and sort of the cloud can help with this, and make it even more easy to use, and across different types of use cases as well. So you mentioned the need for accuracy, not only for complex terrain, also for simpler terrain types as well as offshore. So making use of the capabilities that cloud solutions gives us in terms of new interfaces is very helpful in this respect. User friendliness is another aspect of that. So, for example, removing the need to invest in, expensive local hardware, having to download new versions all the time, having your IT department service you, but at the same time making improvements and new functionality available much quicker. Um, you saw the three releases that we've done already since the launch a year ago, and everybody has access to things like this instantly, which I think makes the whole process much easier and less laborious. And also, as Ingvar was talking about, expanding functionality across the project lifecycle, working with partners such as EMD, we can address the need to simplify the workflows, reduce the number of tools you may have to work with. Finally, productivity. So, having access to multiple servers at the same time allows you to run more granular projects, higher resolution to achieve that accuracy, and much faster. You can run jobs and sectors simultaneously. Multiple people can work on projects in parallel, which makes you much more productive, and you have time to do other things as well that you might also want to focus on. So all in all, we think that all these needs and trends help make the case for why the cloud is a solid foundation for the future. Um, Resulting in this, we want to help you do better and faster investment decisions. How do we do that? In some cases, higher AAP, but super importantly, they have to be realistic. It's not only about, the highest income, but it has to be reliable, trustworthy, with as low uncertainty as possible. Lower the capital investiture requirements. So by, a P90, reducing uncertainty and risk, you will, of course, this way be able to reduce your capital cost, but also, open up or make access to capital financing for the projects easier. Lower operational cost as well, with the correct turbine placement, the load will be reduced, maintenance costs, etc., maintenance needs will also be reduced, ultimately resulting in, solid project return on investment and bankable project, and hopefully in the end, improve your competitiveness in the work that you are doing. So I'm going to show a little bit here. This is the URL. Now you are in the dashboard of Accelerator, where you can see how many credits you have, what kind of subscription plan. You can see the different projects. You can rename them. You can set different visibilities and delete them as you want. Orange buttons are action buttons. So now we are looking at uploading a project. You can drag and drop or browse your hard drive. So here we are dragging and dropping the files coming out of the terrain module. We upload the project here. Normally this doesn't take very long. It's the standard terrain module files. Here we are then in the main interface of the WindFields modules. We're on the left-hand side of the screen here. You will recognize the sections from the desktop version. You can set the physical models here. You can set the solver, number of iterations and convergence criteria, and monitoring elements as well. So this is inputable here as well as in the terrain module before, as mentioned. So in this case, for example, I want to add another sector. This is easily done here. So then we click the orange button, run the WindFields. In the end, when everything is done, you will see the orange button on the lower right-hand side with the download project as well. But in the meantime, you can monitor progress here on the right-hand side with orange and green status bars for each sectors that tells you how many iterations have been done, time elapsed and estimated remaining times. And you can also in the upper right-hand corner select what kind of elements you want to look at for monitoring, represented in a graph here where you can inspect the values, but also see them here in an expandable table at the end. So we looked at spot values. Now it's over to residual values. You can do exactly the same thing here. So the other thing that you can do, if you look at the right-hand column here, you have like stops and cross. So if you stop the cross button here, you can actually pause the calculation. Everything is stored and you can resume later. You also have the option if you cross it out or hit the cross button, you can actually cancel it. If there's no conversions, for example, or it takes too long time, you could cross it out. And now Nils Olav is going to continue talking about this next session.
Yes. Thank you for that, Lil. As Lil mentioned, I'm Nils. I'm working on the commercial team with Lil and Vincent. So I'm very happy to be here. So I will go in more detail about the WindSim Accelerator. So as Lil mentioned, it's a cloud-based platform where you get access to multiple servers at the same time, and this gives a lot of advantages, and you can run multiple projects and jobs at the same time. You can do more granular projects. It's no limits on the model size, so you can run big models. This also give you with increased simulations, faster development time, so you can be more productive and spend your time on other things. Is fully managed service, so you don't need local hardware investments and or support or IT. Also, it's very scalable. You can have multiple users, you can use several devices, and you could log in from anywhere. And of course, continuously upgrades and releases. And also, your data is well secured in the cloud, and you also have a great analytic toolbox where you can see everything from projects to your jobs to credits, simulations, and so forth. So we want to make it easier to access accuracy. We want to give you faster results and making CFD easier to use. So currently we are doing the wind field simulation in the cloud in combination with desktop pre and post processing. We are working on to get more functionalities in the cloud to eliminate the need for the desktop software. And the WindSim Accelerator is a SaaS-based subscription model that I will tell a bit more about. Uh, so our goal is to make it simple and flexible based on the customer needs. Uh, and if you compare the subscription and SaaS model, for example, to the perpetual license, you have a lower overall cost. You do not need initial big investment. You don't need annual support and maintenance, no local hardware investment, and of course, no need for local support. The subscription we have for a monthly subscription, we have a yearly, and we also offer a 3-year subscription. And the subscription is volume based, where we have different plans. Yes, so as mentioned, our subscription is volume-based, where we use credits as our currency. As you can see, we have different plans with different amount of credits. So the smallest package is the live plan, where you get 18,000 credits. Next one is plus, 60,000. Next one is premium, 120. And we also do offer customized packages. And also, if you want to buy more credits, we have something that we call boosters, which is also positive to buy extra credits if needed. And as Theo mentioned, we also offer a virtual desktop, which is possible. Uh, and I also want to mention that we are offering consultancy work. We have done several projects all over the world, and we also offer training. Both we have set days during the year, both um, advanced and also basic. And we also offer company training, and we are getting great feedback from the people attending the courses. Yeah, so then the next question is, how many credits do you actually need? So here in this example, we have set up 3 different models, as you can see in the 2 pictures. The first is a site or a model that where you will use 5 million cells. You will do 1 run. You will do 12 wind direction, and the complexity is quite low. Then you would approximately use 100 credits. And the second example, you would use 100 million cells. You would do 1 run, 12 sectors with medium complexity. You would use approximately 1,000 credits, sorry. And the last one, you have a bigger model with a higher complexity, 30 million cells. You would do 2 runs and 16 wind directions. And here you would use approximately 30,000 credits. Yes, so the credits are a reflection of the value that we deliver and are driven by several factors. The size of the model, of course, the complexity of the terrain, how many iteration do you want to run, the sectors, how many wind direction do you want to use, what type of convergence criteria do you want to set? Also, as Theo mentioned, we have different solvers. So which one do you want to use? And also accuracy and stability. So of course, simple projects you will need fewer credits, and more complex models and sites and projects will require more. And I also want to mention that we are working on so our user can have estimated time and credit consumption before they are starting the project and starting the simulations. So for new user of WindSim Accelerator, we are recommending to set up a trial to get familiar with the software, and to understand a bit more the usage and the consumption of the credits. Yeah, so I think that's it from me. Thank you, and I will hand it back to Theo. Thank you.
Thank you.